Hello, everybody. I'm gonna see if I can see myself live. It says I am, but always makes me nervous because one time I thought I was and I wasn't. Okay. Let's see. There I am. Okay, I'm gonna see. Ooh, turn that off. I'm gonna see if I can make this so. Nope. Okay. Don't need to do that. Okay. So hi everyone. Hi Karen. Hi Karen. Hi Karen. Just kidding. 2 Karens in a row. Hope everybody's well today. Wanted to share a few, I figured we could at least do 2 because they're very simple Easter cards. Hi Rhonda. Good morning. Hi Tina. Somebody else there I missed. Who was that? Let's see. Oh, Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Okay, so these cards are really simple. I'm going to show you one first that's an Easter card because it does have the bunny. And the bunny is from the Welcome Easter stamp set. Sorry, I know there's a crazy glare. So this one, I totally forgot to show. I made this card for Valentine's Day, and I forgot to post it on the blog. So anyway, we can make this one into a Easter card. Lots of little fun friends here. And if for some reason you don't have this stamp set, you could always use the baby animals from Wildly Happy because they're so cute, specifically the bunnies. But I love them all. They're adorable. And if you don't have anybody to send an Easter card to, maybe you have somebody you could turn it into a baby card. So Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something like that. I love this stamp set. It's so cute because I love that one. Love you more than all the stars. And my other idea, I've had a lot of coffee today. My other idea too would be if you don't for some reason have DSP. Hi Angela, thank you for joining. You could always kind of make your own DSP background using some of these background pieces, really using anything backgroundy, because I also have, in the Easter stamp set, you have all these little dudes you could stamp tone on tone and do it. Hi, Donnie. Hold on. I missed what Donnie said right there a second ago. Hold on. First, oh, thanks. I'm so glad you got to catch me live. That's awesome. Hi, Melanie. Nice to see you. So I have a couple other stamp sets here I was thinking, too, you could use. Well, dang, I thought I had the ones for the backgrounds, but anyway, this is going to be another one you can earn free. So you could use this little sunshine from Rise and Shine. This is actually a double-sided stamp set, so you can actually, which I wish they did these with all the photopolymer, how they have these, like little, ooh, this is in the wrong spot. They have these little shadow images on the background. I think that's so helpful. Hi, Cindy. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. So these you can actually stamp with both sides. And this also does have a coordinating die set, so you could cut out the coffee cups. Good morning, Debbie from Kentucky. I have some relatives in Kentucky, too. I think I've said that before. Hi, Julie. So, the one I was going to show you, though, now I don't know what the heck. Maybe I put them away. I'm thinking I did. Hold on. Let me peep over here real quick. We could always use the bird. Well, I don't know what I did with my new stamp set, because did you guys like my blog hop card that I did? Why is it? You know, I have things so organized and then I go live and I can't find anything. It's so embarrassing. Maybe it's in here because I just bundled them up. Here's another one. Forgot to show you that one too. Adorably cute. What if I put them over here? Yep. Did you guys like my putting on the Ritz card that I did? Someone also told me this reminded them of Frank Sinatra. This was the blog hop card, so in case you missed it. Isn't that fun? So cute. Love this. This is another new stamp set that's coming out. It's called All Dressed Up. It's actually red rubber. It's not cling, which sometimes that's surprising to people. But anyway, I thought this was a really fun card. I love putting on the Ritz. That's one of my favorite songs. I could sing it right now, but I don't want to make anybody's ears bleed. So anyway, what we're going to do today, aside from the little bunny card, so this one's really cute. This one requires a little bit of fussy cutting. Oh, thanks, Tina, for the hearts. This is another really, really simple one. Hi, Jean from Phoenix. Thanks for joining. So this uses actually surprisingly enough. This uses a piece of, let me see if I can pull it out here so I can show you, because I was frantically looking for this. The other side of this. So this is the tropical DSP, and then the other side is this really soft pattern, which is great for Easter cards if you don't have any paper. There's lots of card or DSP that kind of like the B side would make a great background for a really soft card. This one, I love these woodies, and I love this matte, but I think the woodies would always win because that's just one of my absolute favorites. And then the other side that's a nice, very soft pattern is the other side of the hibiscus, is this green. But I picked out one other card paper that maybe you might already have that I thought would be really simple for you to use the flip side of, because this was one of my favorite papers as well. The Bird Ballad DSP. I'm sure you guys have some of this. The other side of the birds is a really soft pink polka dot. I know it looks kind of white on there because of my colors in here. That one's a great one. And then there's one other one I wanted to share with you. So I will use the Bird Ballad because that's the one I kind of pulled out. And here's the other one. You could always use these little bird feet. They're little yellow bird feet. They're really cute. I think that was the other one I wanted to show you. Yes, and then the pink polka dots. So you could even use something soft for this, like a spring card. So you could make this into an Easter card. You could make it into a welcome baby card if maybe you have somebody that has a baby that's coming or something. But anyway, a couple cards. I have one other one that I'm going to share with you. And one other paper I thought you could use too is the mosaic paper, because this side of it, they kind of have a really, really busy side, depending on what you're looking at. But there's another side of it that's a really nice. It's very neutral. It could go totally for like spring flowers. So that's a nice one. So if you're looking for something and you kind of really can't find, check the flip side of your paper. Sometimes there'll be a side that's a really soft side that you might not have thought of using. Even this is just a very soothing. It's probably, if I were to guess, it's probably Daffodil Delight and Crushed Curry, but it's a really soft pattern, so very easy to use. And the other thing is you don't have to use a big piece of paper. So this one only has, this is probably about a 2.5 inch strip. So you have DSP. I just did a little bit of a scrap paper. So pretty simple. And quite honestly, for this one, all we did was we put the DSP and then we just cut the little guy out. So we will do 2 cards. I did also get Free as a Bird, just in case. And I have one other card that I'll share with you at the end, which is another really simple Easter card. I mean, like, super simple. You can bang this one out in absolutely no time at all. So let me just flip you over. Let me move this over. One other thing to tell you, if you wanted to, this is another one that's a nice one. This is on the back of the Birthday Bonanza DSP. So you see the little guys here? This would be a great background card because it's just really easy and fun. So if you sign up with me now as a demonstrator, you will get a 6x6 pack of a sampler pack of DSP. So there's lots of stuff. You could make a bunch of cards. You will also get the mini paper trimmer. You get to choose $125 worth of anything for $99. It ships for free. You also get to pick a bonus free stamp set. Now that does end March 31st because that's the end of celebration. That's the best time of the year to join Stampin' Up. There's no commitment to sell or to do videos or cards or parties or anything else. You can just join for the discount, and then when time comes, you can go your own way. So up to you what you want to make of it. So I'm going to flip you guys around, and we're going to go down to the craft table. So if you do get a little nauseated, I'll tell you right now, just look away for a moment, and I will tell you when we're in. Okay. And we're good. So thank you to everyone who joined me today. Thank you all for the shares and the thumbs up and the likes and everything else. I truly appreciate it. So we'll just recreate these 2 cards, but we'll do them a little bit differently. And then I'll share my last card at the end. I'm going to use the Bird Ballad DSP for these. So I will use, one of them will use the full sheet. So we'll use a full background and make a simple card. And then the other one, where is it? Which a lot of these, I love some of these prints so much so that this side is not my favorite, which I'm kind of glad because I really love the flowers. But I do find that the one that has all these little birds on it, which does have the soft side, this one is really one of my favorite ones. So I think I'm going to use this one for the strip. That way we'll only cut a little bit of paper. And then, so that will be this card. We'll redo that one. We could do that with the lamb or something instead. So that's going to be the dots. And then the other one was this, the little bird feet. So all I'm going to do is cut a piece of each of these. And in case you are unaware, remember, some of the colors are going to be retiring. So the really bright and cheery Pineapple Punch is going to be retiring. So I think I'm going to use Pineapple Punch. I'm going to try that with the pink. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to look, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 4 inches. And then trim it to 5 1/4. So that will be for this card. We'll have to figure out what we're going to put that on. And then this piece, like I said, I want to just measure. I feel like this is 2 1/2. No, look at that. The paper is deceiving me. It's only 2 inches. So 2, and then this one does take the full card length. So you could make it shorter if you wanted to, but since it's just a 2-inch piece, we'll make this one a little bit bigger. So we'll go with down here, cut this at 2. And we'll cut this one at 5 1/2, so it measures the whole length of the card. And you could even use this little piece on the inside if you wanted to. If you didn't want to use the bird, you could put your greeting or something inside of it. So definitely lots of stuff you could do. So we're going to recreate these two. So we'll go with this and this. And this one I believe is... I wonder if that's Blushing Bride, because I don't think it's Petal Pink. It's a little bit too pretty to be Petal Pink. This one, what we'll do is, how about if we go with a really bright green for that yellow? So let's see what we have here. Granny Apple Green. What might this look? This could look super springy. We'll do that. So this one, we're going to go with Granny Apple Green. Just trim this down to 4 1/4. And I'm going to score it in half at 5 1/2. So that will be this base. So that will be a super springy card. And then this one will keep a little softer. So I think I did. I'm not wondering what this will look like. I think this was So Saffron. That would still look kind of pretty, but I think with going with something that's complementary, I want to go with, what if we do Pool Party? Because that could be really pretty. So like that real soft Pool Party Balmy Blue would be pretty as well. Look at that. I put these in the wrong spot. No wonder I'm looking. Seaside Spray would be nice. Balmy Blue. I think I'm going to go with one of those instead. Let's do Balmy Blue. Only because I have it out. Brand new pack of paper. We'll open that up. And we'll cut one of these. It's supposed to be 62 here today in Maryland, which makes me super duper duper excited. So this one I'm going to cut the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at 4 1/4. And we'll cut this the opposite direction. I'll cut it at 5 1/2. So we'll have one card that is a hot dog, so long and skinny, and one that is shorter and wide, a hamburger. So kind of what they call the difference between those two. So we'll put that right on here. That'll be nice. And then all we have to do is stamp. And when we do our stamping today, I'm actually going to do it with blends. I'm going to color these little critters in with blends. So I'm going to use Memento ink. And how about if we do... Oh, goodness. So many choices. We'll do the lamb for the bright card. Okay, so we'll do the lamb for this one. And we'll do the bunnies from Wildly Happy for the other one. But we'll make these both into Easter cards. So again, if you don't have paper, the other thing you could do is you could cut a complementary piece of paper. So say we went with this one, and our background piece was going to be Daffodil Delight. Then we could layer a lighter yellow. We could layer a piece of So Saffron on top, and we could stamp in So Saffron ink on the layer and then make our own DSP. So remember, if you don't have a paper that you want, you can always make one too. So don't forget that. That makes things a lot more fun. So I'm going to grab just some scrap cardstock here. Move these two out of the way. And we're going to kind of stick with the same theme. So this one I'm actually going to cut out. So we'll stamp that with enough room. And this one I'm going to actually trim, fussy cut. So I'm going to stamp both of these in Memento ink. And I just want to give them enough time to dry. And then we'll do the blends. And the fun part about with using the lamb, even though he is white, we can add a little bit of blue, so it'll kind of give that shaded color to him. You could always do it with a light gray as well. Stick him over here. And we do still have to add sentiments. And the bunny, I'm going to kind of make sure I have enough room that I want to cut this one out with with a stitched circle. Cute. So the bunny is definitely more of a sketched look, whereas we have more of a bold line with the lamb. But we're going to make both of them work. Again, you could totally do this for a new baby card if you wanted to. All right, so sticking with this, I'm going to give this just a moment to dry. And in the meantime, I'm just going to stick this down. So I'm just going to fold this cardstock in half. Hopefully I scored that correctly. Just my bone folder. We're going to put this on here. Same with this one. This was Granny Apple Green. And then this one will just go on just like that. So I'm going to use liquid glue only because it'll give me a little bit of wiggle room if I need to adjust anything. There we go. So you can find all of the supplies I'm using today in my online store, rachthestamper.stampinup.net. We do, again, have some new celebration offerings coming tomorrow. So that's fun. I do want to thank those of you who shopped in my online store on February 28th and 29th. You will be getting an extra PDF tutorial. And I'm actually I'm waiting for something to come because I wanted to do something that had something that was a little bit new in it. And I'm going to be starting to offer card kits. So you can purchase the card kit. I think that looks pretty straight. You can purchase the card kit. You can add things onto it if you like. Now this does hang over just a little bit, and sometimes that happens with your paper. So what I'm going to do is grab my scissors. And I'm just going to go right along here and just trim just that little bit off, and then you won't even notice. Okay, so that one is going to be this piece here. We're going with that. And then this one is going to be the solid image, okay? So let's get back to our coloring. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of, just a little piece of scrap printer paper. And I have the blends that I'm going to use underneath. And again, I haven't really tested this enough to say that it does or doesn't work. However, we're going to try it. So sometimes people say that if you have a paper underneath of your paper that you're coloring on with blends, it helps the colors to blend a little bit nicer. So we're going to see. I need to actually do a little bit more, I don't want to say practice, but I want to do a little bit more just to see if it actually does work the way I think it works. So let's see, we have Smoky Slate. Do we want little light gray bunnies or do we want little light tan bunnies? Anybody have a preference? I have some Flirty Flamingo out because I'm going to do his bow in Flirty Flamingo. I have a little bit of blue because I want to do his accents in blue. And then I also have some gray granite. So I might add just a teeny bit of gray. And we'll add just a little bit of pink to him as well. Okay, so let me see. Gray, gray, gray. All right, gray. So let me put the tan back. We'll go with gray. No problem. And we're going to just add a little bit of shading. So I'm going to start with the lamb. And what I'm going to kind of do with him, I am going to bring in a little bit of light pool party too. And I know that's a little bit more of a green, but sometimes it really kind of helps to lighten things up a little bit. And I'm going to go also with a light balmy blue. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this, just a little, to kind of one side. It doesn't really matter which one. You can do whichever one you want. Just very lightly. It's basically what we're trying to do is just enhance the fact that he's white. Very white and fluffy. And then we'll go with a little bit of light smoky slate for the hooves. Same thing again. Now I have my, which one is this? Light Seaside Spray. Just kind of coming a little bit to the side, a little bit on the hooves, just to kind of lighten them up just slightly. And I'm not really going to the full whole other side of it because I don't want him to be like blue. That's definitely not what I'm going for. And then I'm going to start with the light Flirty Flamingo for the ribbon around him. Maybe put just a teeny bit of pink on the inside of the ears. I'm going to go a little bit with the dark Flirty Flamingo. Same thing again. Now I know also another thing that sometimes people will do is they will let the alcohol dry before they'll kind of add anything else to it. So that is another option. I haven't fooled around with it enough with the drying. I am more so the kind of person that I tend to like to add it in very light layers. I'll just put a little bit more on this side here. Kind of just trying to accent the areas where, not really where it would be a shadow, but just to kind of highlight is more what I'm trying to do. So not a whole lot done there. But it is making him pop more as white. Now, the other thing you can do prior to cutting him out, because even though you are going to cut him a little bit close, you could take a really light, so light smoky slate, and kind of go on the underneath. That way, even if you trim it a little bit closer, it just gives a little bit more depth. Now, when I do these bunnies over here, I'm actually going to leave that shading underneath. That way, it looks like he has a little bit of a shadow under there. Okay, so I'm going to leave him as that. Now we're going to go over to the bunnies. So we did say bunnies. We were going to do gray. So I have gray granite. I believe my dark smoky slate is the one that died on me. And I did order a new one. Nope, here it is. I think that's the one that I ended up ordering a new one of, though. And then one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a little bit, the ivory marker. I was looking for that and I forgot what I was going to do. I'm just going to kind of blend out just a little bit over the pink on the cheeks. And I might as well just add a little bit to his nose. A little ivory on the nose, and then a little bit of light. I don't know that lambs necessarily have pink noses, but in my world, as Alice in Wonderland were to say, they do. All right, so now I'm going to go over to the bunnies. So I'm going to start with a lighter color, so light smoky slate. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I kind of just tend to choose a side that I want to highlight. I kind of try to stick, if I can, with the same side. All this, I will tell you, all the alcohol markering is kind of new to me. I never had experience with alcohol markers at all. Now, this is just a light gray granite prior to using these Stampin' Blends. So I'm not really super knowledgeable as much as I would like to be with the alcohol markers. I know that you do need to use very specific inks for your outline. So you want to use a water-based ink because otherwise then your alcohol marker will smudge the outline. So I'm kind of just very lightly doing like, as almost as if it were fur. So this is again the light gray granite. And I'm gonna give them just a teeny bit of pink too on their ears, on the insides, and on the nose. So that was light gray granite, and then I was using light smoky slate. So just coming in now with the bullet tip and just kind of reinforcing those shadow lines. Kind of just trying to add just a little bit more shading. Don't want it to be too dark, but... And then same thing again, I'm going to go in one more time with the light gray granite. Just kind of blend those out a little bit. Leaving just a couple little spots of white. Just to have the lighter... So thus far, just to have the lighter look. It does really look, when you're actually looking at these, it does really look very similar to a fur look. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of ivory. And then I'm going to go over that again, just with a little bit of light gray granite, just to kind of soften it, because I don't want it to be so harsh that all you see are these bright peachy pink looks. Now I'm going to go in one, let me see, I'm going to go with a little bit the lighter. So I'm going to go in with dark gray granite just once more and just add a little bit of a more serious shading effect. Remember, baby bunnies are typically much lighter than a bunny would be. So just really cute little bunnies. So that's about it. Pretty simple for most of it. Now what I'm going to do is just kind of decide which one I want to do for this. So these are pretty small. Now when I did this one, I did use a larger oval. These are a little bit tight. So if you ever get to the point where you're not sure if it's going to fit, flip it over to see where your stitching is. So that's a little bit small. We could use, because of the shape of them, we could use a little oval instead for them. So we're going to use an oval to cut them out. So it will change the shape of our card just slightly. And then we're going to actually hand trim out our little friend here. So what I'm going to do is, just to make sure this is where I want, I'm just going to put a piece of purple tape just to kind of hold it in place. This guy's going to get fussy cut, and then we'll finish up. Just going to run this through the Big Shot. All right, so here we go with him. I do still need to add my sentiment. So I could just use the scrap piece of this, but there's going to go for this guy here, which is really cute. Again, this was the oval from the Stitch Shapes, which are a really super versatile set of dies if you don't have them. And then this guy, I'm just going to go ahead with, oh, you know what? I forgot. I'm sure somebody was probably yelling, you forgot about shading. So I'm going to go with the light gray granite. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a gray shadow. So you could always add a color. You could add a really light shadow, but you just want to give something to ground them. And I'm going to add in just a little bit. Is this the light seaside spray? I'll just add a little. Could even add a little grass-like color if you wanted to. So just a little grounding for him. And then this guy, I'm just going to do my best to not terrifically long fussy cut him out. We'll save this and we'll use that for the scrap. So if you are adverse to fussy cutting, I'm sure some of you probably own, I believe it is the, oh my gosh, I can't even remember what it's called now. But anyway, it's a machine that does die cutting. So you scan and cut. That's what I'm looking for. I think it's the Brother Scan and Cut. I know a lot of people own those. Me, personally, I like to fussy cut. What I try to do is just keep my scissors still and then just move the paper in and out of whatever it is that I'm cutting. Go with that. This little guy, we'll pop him up on dimensionals. There are a lot of really pretty Easter sets, and if you're looking for something a little bit more religious, there's also a bunch of, and I'm going to leave just a little bit of the shading underneath, so I'm not cutting super close to this. But there is the Cross of Hope is actually in the annual catalog, and there's another couple of really beautiful stamp sets in the Easter catalog. So lots of different ways to get your Easter message across. Oh, something just fell off of something in the laundry room. Sorry about that. Gave me a little minor heart attack. I'm just kind of tracing the edges. Probably my brother scan and cut. There you go. Makes life a breeze for workshops, I'm sure. Something I had probably teetering in the laundry room is now on the ground. But okay, so we have these two. So now all we have to do is figure out. So I have one really scripty Happy Easter. This one, Sweet Friend, was actually from the Easter stamp set as well. So you could certainly swap any of these out. So we'll do one, Have a Wonderful Easter. Maybe I'll do that one under this. And we'll just stamp that really thin. And we'll do the Happy Easter on the lamb. So we will do, I'm going to do the Happy Easter for the lamb. Just to keep it fun. I'm going to do that one in Granny Apple Green. And then just trim out that little piece. Okay, so that one, I'm just going to trim this just slightly away. We'll let this dry so I don't smudge it. That will be one. And then the other one, we'll do on a little slim piece as well. Have a Wonderful Easter. This one I'm going to keep a little bit more of a soft. So what I'll do for this one is we'll go with Smoky Slate. And we'll keep this one a really nice, clean, simple card. Let's say serious, but a little bit more of a... That's a little bit too light. I think I'm going to change to basic gray instead. Let me just wipe this off. Flip this over to the other side of the paper. And I think basic gray makes a really, really nice alternative to black as well if you're looking for something. There you go. That's a little bit darker. I like that a little bit nicer. So what we'll do, let me grab my little trimmer. Is I'm just going to trim this up just a little bit. Kind of take the end off of it. Make sure it's nice and neat. All right, so there's our little Happy Easter. Pretty simple. I'm going to do the same with this one. Just take off the end for... Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do with this one? I think I'm going to... I think I might flag the ends. What to see? Let me see. I might flag the ends of this one, so I'm going to leave it long just for a moment. And see where I want to go with this. Because we could add this one... Nah, I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'm going to make it thin. Because sometimes I feel like I get carried away with things and then they just look a little crazy. So I'm going to just trim this up a little bit. And then I'm going to just trim off the ends. Just to keep it like a nice, clean, simple card. Let's see if I can... just do a teeny bit of a trim under here to keep it even. There we go. Okay, and now the other thing you can do, if you wanted to add a little bit of a ribbon to it, and maybe you don't necessarily have the color you want, sorry about that. All of my ribbons are hiding from me. So we have a really pretty ruched Daffodil Delight ribbon you could add. But then there's also this really nice, this is a crinkle seam binding ribbon. And the nice part about this is you could color it any color you wanted. So if you wanted to have something that was a really light pink that you wanted to add to this, all you're going to do is you're going to take your marker, and you could do this with your Stampin' Blends. You could do this with your Stampin' Write marker, but just to show you. So you just take your marker, Stampin' Blend. You could even use your ink pad. You could use a sponge dauber and just color over it. And then you can make your ribbon virtually any color you want. So really light. You do want to let it dry just a smidge, but with the alcohol markers, they do tend to dry pretty quickly. So you can make it any color you'd like. So that's another great idea for you to do. So we're going to add, the only other thing I want to add for this one is I want to back this with just a little bit of something. And I think I'm going to go with a teeny bit of just a lighter green, just so it doesn't overtake the rest of the card. Let's see. So that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to trim up a little piece of this. This is probably about, yeah, 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to just do this one as an inch. This is a little piece of soft sea foam. And just kind of eyeball this. Just to right about there. So this one we're going to layer onto something, and then this other one we're going to just put straight down. We'll add a little bit of ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and pop him up on some dimensionals. You could do that with the greeting as well if you wanted to. So I'm just going to kind of set him here for now. Just kind of slightly putting him where I think I want him. Add a little bit of liquid glue to the back of this. And if for some reason I'm missing your comments, I promise before we're finished here today, oops, must have a glue drop on there. I will go back and look at them before we disconnect. And thank you to Gail. I believe Gail was able to help me get my settings turned on. So now hopefully my comments will stay where they were for YouTube. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue. I put this right under there, kind of like he's holding a little sign. So there's that one. And then same for this one. I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals as well. And then we'll just put the, just going to put 4. We'll put the sentiment flat down. Again, like I said, you can add a little bit of ribbon to it. And then when we finish assembling this, I'll show you the other card that I have. It's a really, really simple card. Okay, and we have a wonderful Easter. I'm going to take my snips, where are they? And I'm just going to go in just a little bit closer to the exclamation and to the H. Oops, got a little bit of glue on there. But again, totally great way to use up some of that DSP that maybe you bought some time ago and forgot that you had. And I'm just going to make a little bow and add this on here. Oh, probably should have colored the whole rest of this now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, that might have been a good idea. Let me move down a little bit. I'm going to grab my... I'm just going to color the rest of this just a little bit more with my blend. Again, this was the ivory blend that I used. I think that should be good enough. And you could certainly just leave it white if you wanted to. If you ever want your bows to be really even and have everything facing the direction, it does take a little bit of practice. But try tying them backwards. Instead of wrapping around the front, wrap around the back. It really makes them, oops, much more flat. You'll see what I mean in just a second. You can see they make like a really nice knot. And they're really, really a very clean looking bow. I'm just going to tighten this just a smidge. Trim this up just a little bit. And I'm going to just add this on with a little mini glue dot. This is a super, super light ribbon, so you definitely only need one for that. So it's really, really pretty, but it's very, 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 very lightweight. So it's not really easy to tie to, which makes it pretty nice. So there are the cards that we finished. Let me get all this stuff out of the way so you guys can see what we did. Could always have added some yellow to this guy as well. So these are our recreations. Again, this used Bird Ballad DSP. We used for both of those. So nothing springy or new. So all stuff that we already have. And then let me show you the two that we recreated. So this one was the Sweet Friend. This one was Valentine's paper, which you could very simply use this as well and just change that to a really light pink paper. So that was here. And then this one actually used the other side of the tropical DSP, and then we just added that little bow there. This one, I did add some Wink of Stella, because of course you need a little Wink of Stella on that little guy there. It's really, really cute. But really sweet, soft, sweet cards. Again, these cards would be great to duplicate as well if you needed a card for a baby shower or a welcome baby or something to that effect. And the last card that I have to show you, this card is really, really easy, and I often struggle with vellum myself. But I thought it would be really fun to be able to use just a piece of vellum, like something you might have a scrap laying around. So this is what I came up with. If I can get it out of the glossy, because then you won't be able to see. But I used a piece of the Timeless Tropical DSP, and then just a circle of vellum. Actually put a little bit of that braided twine, and then just to have a wonderful Easter. So really, really simple card here. Same thing again. Easter lilies I thought were really, really pretty. So those are the day lilies that sometimes people call Easter lilies. But a great card, just a little teeny piece of vellum. So doesn't have to be anything even major, but really simple to add to the card. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I do truly appreciate you stopping by, for the sharing, the hearts, the thumbs up. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. All you have to do is click the subscribe button, and then make sure there's a little bell there that if you turn on the notifications, it will tell you every time I either make a new video or that I am live here on YouTube. I will, once we're finished today, I have to go to lunch duty, but after that, I will add all of the products to this video. And I'll also do a blog post with all of the cards and the measurements that we use for the DSP and such. So I thank you guys so very much for stopping by as always. If you have anything that you'd like to get, you can always shop my online store 24/7, rachthestamper.stampinup.net. Thank you guys so much for joining in, and I'll see you again real soon. Have a great day.